Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Sitdown. We hope you're having a safe and sound December. A lot of sports going on right now, and we're so excited, and we'll keep you up to date. At this moment right now when we're recording, it's Championship Sunday, and also NFL on Saturday, which is really weird. Or Championship Saturday, sorry, not Sunday. A lot of championship games and also NFL on Saturday. We're excited. NBA season is around the corner and ready to go. But first, let's get to the playoffs, and then we'll talk a little bit about college football playoffs. So today with me is Kieran Costa, Nate Martin, CJ Rulo, and I'm Sinay Singani. So let's get right to it because we have a lot of brackets to fill out. We have a lot of brackets to talk about. And we'll start with the NFL. It's been quite a bit of chaos in the 6 and 7 seeds in both conferences, in the AFC and the NFC. And we're going to go ahead and fill out a bracket on our screen right here. There it is. So as you can see, 1 through 7 seeds are filled out right now. They are not promised to stay as is at the moment. We're looking at those 7 seeds on both sides, Miami and Arizona. But the rest of them seem to have fit in, maybe a little bit of shifting here and there.
I think we're definitely going to see some. The 1 seeds are still not a lock as well. That much needed buy for many teams. So definitely keep an eye on that race.
Yep, and I mean, right on. We just saw a shift last week. 2 shifts actually. Pittsburgh moving from 1 to 2, and Green Bay moving from 2 to 1. After Arizona and Pittsburgh, or New Orleans and Pittsburgh both lost last week. Okay, so it's kind of weird for me to say, here is a bracket, let's fill it out, but let's do it because there are a lot of different situations, obviously. I don't know if either of us is going out on the limb and saying that this is the way it's going to go exactly, but let's try to do it because it'll be fun. Let's start off on the AFC side, left side of the screen. Green Bay is at number 1 right now. They have a bye, but that wild card weekend the slate of games looks really good, guys. Nate, how about you start us off and pick Washington, Seattle?
Well, they're playing this week. They're playing tomorrow as of where we're recording. So I think that's gonna be a big tale of what's to come. But I honestly I think by the time that playoff series that game comes around, Gibson should be back healthy. We know that Seattle has one of the worst run defenses in the league, but you just can't bet against Russell Wilson in the playoffs. I'm taking Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to agree. I don't think this is a very hard pick. Washington, the higher seed, but I mean, I think it's obviously Seattle, 9-4. Yes, the defense is a huge worry, but I mean, this shouldn't be the toughest matchup. I'm going to agree with Seattle.
I don't think it's going to be close. I think it's going to be very close. I think Seattle by a field goal, I'd say. I think Washington's defense, too many people are sleeping on it.
I agree with you. Now, I'll point one thing out. If Alex Smith is healthy, when he's healthy, I don't think this has gone very under the radar. I don't think anyone really knows about this as much. Washington's a top 10 offense with Alex Smith in the lineup. So I think you're right, Nate. It's going to be a very close game.
I see you. I saw you laughing over there, CJ.
Nate, I'm sorry. I like how you're saying it's going to be close when the entire NFC East is like combined so negative. It's laughable. No teams have a winning record, and you're saying that the Seahawks at 9-4 against a
Seahawks team
it's at the moment 6-7 Washington, and you're saying it's going to be a field goal.
CJ, this is a Seahawks team that just lost to Colt McCoy and the New York Giants. I think that should tell you all you need to know.
Yes, there we go. Because one game evidently decides the entire season outside of the Super Bowl, bro, and the playoffs. But okay.
So we may have a disagreement on what the line might be, but I guess we're all Seattle, right? All 4?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So Rams, Buccaneers. This is actually, I think, one of the best matchups of Wild Card Weekend. And it also seems to be headed in this direction. These two teams seem to be locked to play each other because of the way it's working. Tampa's not going to get to number 1 seed in the NFC South, and the Rams seem to have the NFC West locked up as well. This is a really fun matchup. They played earlier in Monday Night Football. The Rams pretty much dominated. It was a close game, but on paper and on film, they had a really good game. Kieran, who are you taking in this one?
I'm going to take the Rams. Tampa Bay's one weakness I've seen this year is they really struggle against good teams, and they've also had trouble pushing the ball down the field. I don't remember the exact line, but Brady had like 2-3 picks against a very strong Rams secondary. The Rams already beat them in pretty convincing fashion, as you said, both on the score line, on the score sheet, and in real life. I mean, I think the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams, especially after what we saw in that Monday night game.
This is your. I agree with you. I think I was really impressed with how the Rams secondary matched up against the Tampa Bay receivers. Mike Evans had a good game against the Rams, but that's about it. They locked up Godwin and Brown. And then, I really like that dynamic duo of Woods and Kupp. They dominated the Rams secondary, a weak secondary, and I see them doing it again. I take the Rams.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to agree. And I mean, especially, Bucks go out, sign Brady. He's supposed to be the guy that takes Tampa, to the playoffs, most likely for a Super Bowl. And then you look at how the season turned out, and it's like, you lose to the Saints twice. I mean, you lose to the Chiefs, you lose to the Rams. I mean, the only two teams playoff-wise that they've beaten are the Packers, and they beat the Vikings, but the Vikings might not even make it. And they've got 3 games left, 2 against the Falcons, 1 against the Lions. But with New Orleans, how it's been, and you lost 2 already, it's like, offense is looking a little suspect. And, I mean, the Rams, we know, are just solid. So, nothing major.
You hit it right on. That the word is suspect. I think that's literally, you said, stole the words out of my mouth.
And we can't ignore that, the Rams have, like, Jared Goff's quarterback play has been suspect. But I think if Jared Goff is on, especially the way Cam Akers has been playing the last couple weeks, if he continues that, they finally seem to figure that their lead back, a rookie that I was extremely high on heading into the season's finally figuring out his role in that offense. If he keeps on playing the way he is with that receiver play, that's going to be a dynamic offense for Sean McVay.
Okay, let's head on to the other wild card matchup in the NFC, New Orleans, Arizona. This one might be an easy one, in my opinion.
Yeah, I'm going to say New Orleans. I mean, Drew Brees back healthy starting tomorrow, so he's going to get hopefully a few reps in before the playoffs. I mean, I think New Orleans is the team that needs this first round bye the most. They've been a little banged up on both sides of the ball, but Drew Brees coming back, even if he doesn't, I mean, Taysom Hill, they've sort of proven that they can win games with both Taysom Hill and Drew Brees. They have 2 starting quarterbacks in that system. I'm taking New Orleans.
I agree. I think New Orleans plays a good game. They're going to be playing angry for the rest of the season after getting dominated by a rookie in Jalen Hurts. So I'm gonna take New Orleans.
Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah, and to add on to that, I mean, New Orleans is, with the exception of the loss to Philadelphia, the other 2 losses have been to teams that could potentially make the playoffs. I mean, they lost to the Packers by 7, and they lost to the Raiders by 10. Hopefully for Nate's hair, the Raiders don't make the playoffs, but at the rate we're going, anything is possible any given Sunday. So,
oh wait, okay. So let's go to the first round now the wild card weekend for the AFC. Tennessee, Cleveland. This is another great matchup. This is actually kind of tough, and this is where we might start to disagree a little bit, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's very valid for us to disagree on this game. I think it's going to be the best game of the first round that Baker Mayfield looked on against that Tennessee defense. And I think I hate to say it because, I love me some King Henry in the playoffs, but I might have to go with that 2-headed running attack of Hunt and Chubb. I might have to go with Baker Mayfield. If he's on, if Jarvis Landry is playing phenomenal. But then again, it's King Henry, and I'm counting on Baker Mayfield to have a good day. Come back to me. I'm sorry.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, this is definitely going to be probably the matchup in the first round. The one thing that I am going to note, however, is the fact that yes, Cleveland did win, but they scored all their points in the first half. They scored 30 out of their 41 in the first half and actually let Tennessee into it in the later half. I mean, they gave up a combined 28 in the third and fourth quarters. So could you actually be kind of looking and going, Tennessee, yeah, I mean, they've got Henry, they've got Tannehill, they've got A.J. Brown. Is the experience going to come back in the more pressure of the playoffs, assuming they face each other? And could that actually end up playing into their hands in terms of winning? Now, I'm not saying that Cleveland's bad. I mean, they did beat Tennessee. And yes, Baker Mayfield, 334 yards and 4 touchdowns against them. But I'm leaning with Tennessee in that a little bit more of the experience. I mean, they've been there more often than Cleveland has of late.
True.
I think I'm going to go Cleveland. I don't love Tennessee's defense, for one. I think that's my main worry. I mean, yes, Derrick Henry's going to show up. He's going to have over 100 yards, a touchdown, maybe 2. But I'm going Cleveland here. They have Tennessee doesn't have a great run. I mean, it's not a terrible run defense, but they definitely don't have a good run defense. The two-headed monster, Chubb and Hunt, they've been good. Baker's been a little inconsistent, but he showed up last time they played Tennessee, he showed up against the Ravens. I think he's found his niche in that offense. I think they're using him very well off the play action. He only throws when he has to throw, and he only throws when he has an open receiver because they rely on the run game. I'm going Cleveland.
You know what? I just decided it doesn't matter who wins this game because they're gonna lose to the Chiefs.
Yeah.
It's literally a coin flip to find out who loses the Chiefs by 13.
Yeah.
Oh, it's painful right there, man. Oh,
I'm with you.
13, dude. You're thinking 13. You don't think that anyone can actually give the Chiefs like a run, bro?
Well, no, I'll disagree there. I think both these teams can give Kansas City a run, but more so than Pittsburgh or Miami can or Indianapolis. But you're right. Like these two teams, first of all, are so similar. Tennessee is one of the worst third down defenses in NFL history. Not the season, in NFL history, they're one of the worst. Cleveland's defense is also suspect without Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett will obviously
back, and I think that might sell it for me. I think I'm taking Cleveland.
Okay. So I think we have two Clevelands, and I think I'm taking Tennessee. I just can't go against King Henry, and they're such a good second half team. Also, they'll have home field advantage, which is a big plus. But yeah, I think you're right. It doesn't really matter because Kansas City is.
They're just waiting. They're just waiting right behind the door with the axe, just going, "Come on in. I don't care.
Yeah,
come on in."
And they're probably laughing because Tennessee and Cleveland, we already know it's going to be a good game. It's going to be tough battle in the trenches. Running backs are going to get worn down. Tennessee's like, all right, cool. Thank you guys.
Tennessee looked good against Kansas City in the first half, last year. But hey, obviously wasn't enough. So
yeah. Nothing's ever enough against Kansas City. All right, Buffalo, Indianapolis. This is actually a better game than some might think. Buffalo's rising as of late.
I think they're the second best team in the NFL right now. I really like what Josh Allen is doing. Defense stepped up big time against Pittsburgh last week. And, if they're going to have home field advantage against Indiana, it's Buffalo in early January, okay? It's going to be in the negatives. It's going to be snow pouring down. Buffalo's used to that environment. Indiana's plays in a dome. I'm sorry, but I'm taking Buffalo.
Yeah, I think I'll say this. Josh Allen, though, has been impressive. I'm not fully buying in. I'll just leave it at that. Go ahead, Adam.
I'm just gonna say Buffalo. I think weather is gonna play a factor. I don't think home field advantage is gonna be huge in Tennessee, Cleveland. I mean, the weather is gonna be pretty much the same both places.
Cleveland's gonna have some snow, I reckon.
Cleveland might have some snow. I mean, there's not a lot of fans. I don't think home field advantage is going to be a huge problem this playoffs with like a tiny amount of people in the stands at these stadiums. I'm taking Buffalo. I mean, they've convinced me.
Yeah, I'm gonna be straight. I don't think as much as we love Phillip Rivers, dude, you're getting a little old there, buddy. And I mean, especially last game out against Tennessee. So this was the game that essentially determined tiebreaker. 24 of 42 for 295, 2 touchdowns and an interception. That's not gonna be enough against Buffalo, man. That's not gonna be enough, especially with that defense. Oh man.
And it's not like Indianapolis' run offense is gonna help.
Oh no, and I mean it's not even like they have a good. They don't even have a good rusher.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, your best rusher is in the game against Tennessee was Nyheim Hines, and you've got Jacoby Brissett. It's like,
hey, don't disrespect Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor didn't even play in that game, rushing wise.
In the last 2 games, he's had combined for over like 300 yards.
All right. Jeez. These guys being like, all right. It's like, look at the last game. I don't know.
2 against 7. Pittsburgh, Miami/Baltimore. Baltimore fighting for that last spot. But again, whoever it is, doesn't really matter. Go for it.
Pittsburgh, we're forgetting about that defense. I mean, they say defense wins championships. I don't know if Pittsburgh's going to win a championship, but it definitely wins you a wild card game. I'm taking Pittsburgh.
Okay. CJ?
Man, it's really weird. I want to take Miami just more for the fact that they're actually 8-5 and winning for once. And it's like, yeah, and I mean, the thing is, you can't even disrespect Pittsburgh by saying that. It's because it's like I mean, they had the longest unbeaten run to start, but I mean, then they lose their first game, lose the second, I believe, right after, right?
Yep.
Yeah. They lost back-to-back games against Washington, stunner, and then the Bills. They don't have the easiest end to the year. I mean, the Bengals game on Monday is probably their easiest, and then they play the Colts and the Browns. So I don't know how worn down they're going to be going in, because the Browns and the Colts aren't exactly going to be, easy walkover wins. And then they're both actually playing. I mean, Indiana could possibly jump a spot. Cleveland's trying to jump Tennessee right now. Oh, sorry, that's impossible. I forgot. Cleveland, Indiana, they're going to be battling for that 5-6 spot. So
I'll say this.
I'm going to say
jumps to Pittsburgh. Cleveland's in play to jump Pittsburgh.
Yeah, even possibly. So it's like, oh man, I want to take Miami just because of that end of the year. That's just such a tough end. Like, I don't know how worn they're going to be, man.
Pittsburgh's played football since week 4. They haven't had a very early bye week. So that's also playing into factor for them too, because A, the mental fatigue of trying to keep on the winless streak. B, they had so many reschedules and COVID reasons. And C, they have a lot of injuries on that defense, like a lot.
I'm gonna go out on a limb with CJ. I want the 7 seed. I mean, yes, Nate. The Steelers' defense, great. Receiving core, on paper should be great. But they haven't looked convincing to me since their first win against Baltimore. And then like Trace McSorley almost beat them, and RG3. Like that was like a 3-point game or whatever, a 1-possession game. I think the Ravens have a better chance at beating them. Oh,
I mean, it's the two top defenses in the AFC going against each other for points for at least. So points against. I mean,
again, does it really matter because you're playing Buffalo?
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm gonna say either team loses to Buffalo.
I'm just gonna put a question mark here.
Let's put a big question mark right there.
I think let's moving on to the matchup. I think for the AFC it's pretty clear, right? Buffalo, Kansas City.
Buffalo.
I mean, we need to discuss that.
You could see like Tennessee or Cleveland doing an upset, but but they're coming out, and that game's just going to be so rough. It just doesn't. I don't
Pittsburgh, Miami has a better chance of upsetting Buffalo.
Yeah, that's Kansas true. City, but no. But I'm just talking. I'm talking about but Kieran, I'm talking about whoever wins the Tennessee Cleveland game could upset KC. But I don't think that's going to happen.
We got to remember Josh Allen in the playoffs last year. This is a man who lateraled the ball in overtime, and like in a play that wasn't even necessary, in like a 2nd and 5.
That's why I'm not buying in fully to this guy.
I think he's matured a lot.
Yeah, you're right, but
yeah, we might as well just make the prediction now for the AFC Conference Championship game. It's Kansas City.
Kansas City.
It's Kansas
why
City.
not? Yeah. Yeah, hey, don't
they're the
disrespect
Lakers,
Patty Mahomes.
They're the Lakers of the NFL right now. So
Okay,
Hey,
so then I guess let's go to the NFC because that's probably a little more interesting.
Yeah.
Two rematches, I'll say that. Rematch between Green Bay, Seattle, in that 2014 NFC Championship, which was crazy, and even last year they played.
Yeah, they played last year.
And then Rams, New Orleans. I don't know. I hope I don't need to remind you of what happened there, but pass interference is all I have to say. Okay, so let's get to it quickly. Green Bay, Seattle. Green Bay obviously has a bye.
I'm taking a rested Green Bay team. It's basically a repeat of what happened last year. It's basically a repeat of last year. Green Bay had a bye, gets home field advantage. Russell Wilson's gonna be tired.
Yeah, dude, Lambeau in the playoffs, man. I mean, I went to Lambeau and it was empty, and dude, it gets wacky when it's playoff time, man.
And as we talked about, I think Russ will be tired after Washington has like a top 3 defense.
And also, I'll go out on a limb and say I have no problem whatsoever saying like Green Bay is probably the best offense in the NFL. I have no problem saying that. They have their 300 attack is so good. Okay, anyways, Rams, Saints. This is tough. Very tough.
I don't think it's tough. I don't think
really
it's tough.
okay.
I think the Rams are playing phenomenally right now. They have one of the best defenses in the league. Aaron Donald's playing amazing. Jalen Ramsey is the best cornerback in the league right now. I'm taking the Rams.
I don't know. So, dude, I don't know about that, man. I mean, I feel like the Rams, the Saints have
Saints always find a way to choke in the playoffs. Saints always
find a way to choke. There we go. Because apparently Drew Brees can't do it. But dude, their conference, I feel like this year was harder than the West, bro. Honestly,
to me, New Orleans is so. I'm really interested to see how they rebound from this loss because Drew Brees is coming back, and on top of that, you're playing Kansas City. So now, if you have 2 losses in a row, back-to-back weeks, because he lost last week to the Eagles, maybe this week against Kansas City.
Can I just say this? The 2 teams that needed a bye week most heading into the playoffs choked it last week. Pittsburgh and New Orleans, because both of them have struggled the most out of the teams in the playoff right now with injuries. Both of them have old quarterbacks who aren't, as you know, fit as they used to be. And both of them are kind of falling apart right now. I'll say that. So fatigue will catch up to New Orleans, and the Rams will beat them.
I think I'm with you too. New Orleans, I think I have to go Rams. Unfortunately, I'm not a fan of Jared Goff, but I'll go Rams.
Yeah, I'll go Rams as well. I mean, New Orleans, I think injuries are going to catch up to them. Fatigue's going to catch up to them. I'll take the Rams.
Okay, so Green Bay, LA, that is also really tough. You have to remember, Green Bay.
I don't think it
has. Go ahead.
I don't think it is. It's going to be a matchup between the 2 MVP favorites right now, and Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl.
But we gotta. Oh, you're saying Green Bay is gonna make it to the Super Bowl?
I think Green Bay is making it to the Super Bowl.
Okay.
I honestly, I think the Rams New Orleans game is going to be closer than this one. I think it's pretty easily Green Bay.
I think this is the matchup that we all want to see. We all want to see, one of the best strong-arm quarterbacks ever go up against the next great strong-arm quarterback who looks to be the next villain of the NFL, Patrick Mahomes. I'm taking the Packers.
So that's interesting, I think, because Green Bay, to me, still doesn't seem like physically the strongest team, especially on defense. And their offense is great, but
is there any other team in the NFC that you would take over them?
I'm thinking,
because if they were in the AFC, I'd take Buffalo, Kansas City, and maybe the winner of that Tennessee-Cleveland.
Yeah, honestly, I wish the NFL would make stop the NFC AFC thing. As just a side note, I'm just saying, because I would love to see a Kansas City Buffalo or Kansas City.
I like
just rank 14 teams, you mean, and have
there we go, Bob. There we go.
I think the NFC this year is weaker, which is not typical, by the way. For the last 5 or 6 years, NFC's been really strong. Yeah. So Green Bay, Kansas City, that's what we have here.
Yeah. I feel like it's going to be split 2-2 on KC Green Bay winning.
I have a surprise.
I know me and Kieran both. I know me and Kieran
I
both.
have Kansas City.
Are you guys taking Green Bay? Are you guys taking Green Bay?
I'm taking Green Bay. And I'll explain why. It's because I think history shows, and this is really a dumb reason, but I think it's just too attractive for me not to say this. The Super Bowl curse, the Super Bowl hangover is real. There's only a couple of teams who have been able to break off of that. Kansas City, I don't know if
this team's somehow better than last year.
They are, which is true, but I don't know. I also think you can't forget that every game they played in last year in the playoffs, they were down.
Think about this, Sinead. Who would you rather take as a head coach? Would you rather have, Andy Reid, one of the best offensive minds of all time, or second-year head coach Matt LaFleur?
I don't think that's fair, because then you can also ask the question, who would you have, Aaron Rodgers? Or it's just flip-flop. Okay, so head coach, you have one old guy who's won a Super Bowl last year, and he's really
you just don't like him because he's like
second-year head coach.
You don't like him because he was a bad coach with the Eagles. Be honest.
Wait, what? He reached Super Bowls and NFC championships with the Eagles. What are you talking about? I love Andy Reid. Andy Reid got us a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All right, but anyways, I think it's a flip-flop, because Patrick Mahomes, you can make the argument he's like Matt LaFleur in the realm of coach. Matt LaFleur is a top coach. I want people to understand that. He's one of the best offensive coaches in the NFL. Without
receiving core, pretty obvious advantage to Kansas City.
I mean, you got the best receiver in the NFL right now, the best tight end in the NFL.
Tight end in the NFL.
Yeah, that's a toss-up. I don't know.
Okay, I think Kansas City's got a better offensive line. I think Kansas City's got a better
defense is close. Neither are great.
Defense is very close. I might give Green Bay the edge on that. But I also gave San Francisco the edge on defense last year to Kansas City. And look what happened. That defense choked it.
All I'm saying is that I'm just going off the win of the Super Bowl curse. That's all I'm saying. Okay, well, this is our playoff bracket.
Wait, CJ, who do you have?
Oh, I'm taking KC.
Oh, my bad.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Don't write down.
I'm the only.
Just write down KC. You can
Kansas City, bro.
You can just say.
There we go.
You can say Snay off to the side in a different color.
Yeah, you can write Snay Green Bay Packers.
All right. Let's get to college football, guys. Come on, I got some great stuff I want to talk about. Come on.
Yeah, right. So about that, this is our bracket. It's probably subject to change. Obviously, a little bit of playoff season, but we'll come back to this. We'll see who's right, who's wrong. So Green Bay, Kansas City, Super Bowl, Kansas City, 3-1 is pick the winners. Well, we'll get to our college football segment later on. This is our NFL segment here. So we'll sign it off. We'll do a little mini episode for college football, a mini episode for the NFL playoffs, because a lot of situations to talk about. So stay tuned for our second part. It's college football playoffs. For Kieran Costa, TJ Rulo, Nate Martin, I'm Sinead Sangani. And again, stay tuned for a college football episode. It's coming up next.